I'd been getting lightheaded after dinner for months. She always shrugged it off. You're just stressed. Tonight, I quietly hid the meal she'd made and pretended to black out. Moments later, she was on her phone. He's out. Was that enough? When do I get paid? My entire world imploded the night I heard my wife whisper, he's down. Was the dose enough? When do I get paid? In that chilling moment, I realized the woman I adored was meticulously plotting my murder, and suddenly, every dizzy spell, every blurred vision, every doctor's visit snapped into horrifying focus. It was 8:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I was just standing in our kitchen sink, rinsing a dinner plate. But the room tilted sideways, violently, disorientingly. It wasn't the gentle spin you get from standing up too fast. This was the kind of vertigo that makes your brain scream, convinced gravity has reversed and you're about to fall upward into the ceiling. My fingers went numb, the plate slipped and shattered in the sink. Leo, you okay? Chloe's voice came from behind me, bright and concerned. Always so concerned lately. Yet I gripped the counter. Dizzy again. You're working too hard, honey. She was right there, her hand on my back, rubbing gentle circles. Come sit down. Relax. This had been my life for 4 months. Every single night after dinner, like clockwork. At first, I chalked it up to stress. I was a financial analyst at Sterling & Company. 60-hour weeks were the norm. But stress doesn't make your vision blur until you can't read your computer screen. Stress doesn't make your legs feel like wet concrete. I'd been to 3 different doctors. Dr. Alan Davis, my primary care physician for 8 years, ran blood work. All normal, probably anxiety, he'd said, scribbling a Xanax prescription I never filled. Dr. Lena Khan, the neurologist Dr. Davis referred me to, ordered an MRI clean. No signs of MS, no tumors, no structural abnormalities. Sometimes these things are psychosomatic. Then Dr. Margensen, the cardiologist I'd seen on my own dime after Chloe suggested my heart might be the problem, put me on a treadmill for 30 minutes and declared me healthier than most men your age. I was 34. But every night, within 20 minutes of finishing dinner, the symptoms would start. Dizziness, headaches, blurred vision, weakness so profound that climbing the stairs to our bedroom felt like summiting Everest. And every night, Chloe would watch me with those wide, worried eyes and say, "You're just stressed. Relax, Leo." Chloe, my wife of 6 years. We met at a coffee shop in downtown Portland. She was reading Kafka. I made a joke about the metamorphosis. She laughed. 3 months later, I proposed on the Burnside Bridge at sunset. She was beautiful, smart, worked as a pharmaceutical sales rep for Omnipharm, made decent money. We had a nice house, 2 cars, no kids yet, but we've been talking about it. I thought we were happy. Then, last Tuesday, exactly 1 week before the plate-shattering incident, I noticed something strange. Chloe was in the bathroom when her phone lit up on the coffee table. A text message from someone named Max. Is it working yet? The message stayed on the screen for maybe 5 seconds before the phone went dark. I stared at it, my brain trying to make sense of those 4 words. Is what working? A sales pitch? A surprise party? A gift she'd ordered? I told myself it was nothing, that I was paranoid, that the stress and sickness were making me see conspiracy in ordinary conversations. But something just felt off. The way Chloe watched me eat. The way she'd hover near the kitchen when I got my own snacks, subtly steering me toward things she'd prepared. The way she'd ask, "How are you feeling?" with this weird edge in her voice. Not quite hope, not quite fear. Something in between. Monday night, 2 days later, I decided to test something. Chloe had made her famous lasagna with ricotta and Italian sausage, which she knew I loved. She served it with a smile, kissed my forehead, and went to the living room to watch a reality show while I ate. Instead of eating it, I scraped most of it into a large Ziploc bag when she wasn't looking, hiding in my work bag. Then, I pushed the remaining bits around my plate to make it look like I'd eaten, soaked the dish in the sink, and joined her on the couch. 20 minutes passed. No dizziness. No headache. No blurred vision. An hour passed. Nothing. I felt fine. Better than fine. I felt normal for the first time in 4 months. My hands started shaking. You okay? Chloe asked, noticing. Yeah, just cold. She pulled a blanket over me, snuggled closer. You're probably coming down with something. I'll make you soup tomorrow. I smiled and nodded, try not to think about what that experiment had just proven. Which brings me back to tonight, Tuesday, the night I decided to find out the truth. Chloe had made chicken parmesan. She'd been in the kitchen for an hour, singing along to pop songs, seeming genuinely happy. She plated the food beautifully, the chicken perfectly breaded, homemade marinara, mozzarella melted just right. She'd even made garlic bread. This looks amazing, I told her. Anything for my baby, she said, kissing the top of my head. Eat up. You need your strength. I ate about a quarter of it, taking small bites, making appreciative noises. When Chloe got up to refill her wine glass, I scraped the rest into another Ziploc bag I'd hidden in my jacket pocket. I shoved the bag deep into my pocket, rinsed my plate, and the dizziness hit like a freight train. Except this time, it wasn't real. I stumbled from the kitchen into the living room, made a show of grabbing the back of the couch, and let myself collapse to the hardwood floor. I lay there, face down, eyes closed, breathing shallow, playing dead or nearly dead for about 10 seconds. Nothing. Then Chloe's footsteps rushed over, fast, urgent. But she didn't scream. She didn't shake me. She didn't call 911. She grabbed her phone. I heard the click of her unlocking it, the tap of her selecting a contact, the brief buzzing of a call connecting. He's down, Chloe whispered. My heart stopped. Was the dose enough? She continued, her voice barely audible. I gave him the full amount tonight. What do I get paid? I bit the inside of my cheek so hard I tasted blood. I needed to stay still, needed to not react, needed to hear everything. A man's voice came through the speaker, tiny and distant, but clear enough. Give another week. His life insurance pays out double for accidental death. We split it 50-50, just like we agreed. What if someone gets suspicious? Chloe's voice had an edge of panic now. They won't. You're playing the worried wife perfectly. 3 different doctors found nothing wrong, right? When he finally goes, they'll chalk it up to some rare condition they missed. Natural causes. You get the payout, you sell the house, we take the money, and disappear. Chloe laughed. She actually laughed. He's so trusting, she said. It's almost sad. He never questions anything I cook. Never doubts me. Even when he started getting sick, he just wanted more doctors instead of suspecting me. That's what makes it perfect, Max said. Keep doing what you're doing. Another week, maybe 2, and this is over. I can't wait, Chloe said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. I'm so tired of playing house. I know, baby. Soon we'll be in Costa Rica, and this nightmare will be over. They talked for another minute, logistics, timelines, something about a flight. Then Chloe hung up. I stayed motionless on the floor, every muscle in my body screaming to move, to grab her, to demand answers. But I didn't. I kept my eyes closed, kept my breathing shallow, and waited. Chloe's footsteps moved away. I heard her in the kitchen, washing dishes, humming that same pop song like she hadn't just been discussing my murder. After what felt like an hour, but was probably 10 minutes, I came to with a groan. Leo. Chloe rushed over, all concern and loving touches. Oh my God, you scared me. What happened? I let her help me sit up. Let her fuss over me. Let her suggest I go lie down. I think I need to see another specialist, I said, my voice weak but steady. Her face flickered, just for a second, with something that looked like panic. Then it was gone, replaced with that warm, worried expression I'd come to know so well. Maybe you're just tired, she said. Don't waste money on more doctors. They haven't found anything wrong. You just need rest. Yeah, I said. You're probably right. I'll let her help me upstairs. Let her tuck me in a bed. Let her kiss my forehead and tell me she loved me. When she left to take a bath, I grabbed my phone and called my brother, Mike. He answered on the second ring. Leo, it's almost 10 o'clock. What's wrong? Mike Sampson, detective with the Portland Police Department Homicide Division. 15 years on the force. He'd seen things that would break most people, and he was about to see something that would break him. His sister-in-law trying to murder his brother. Mike, I need you to come over tomorrow, I said quietly. When Chloe's at work, and don't tell her you're coming. What's going on? I think Chloe is trying to kill me. Silence. Then what? I told him everything. The 4 months of symptoms, the doctors finding nothing, the text message, the experiment with the lasagna, tonight's phone call. When I finished, Mike was quiet for a long time. You're sure? he finally asked. I heard her, Mike. She's poisoning my food. There's someone else involved. A man. They're planning to split my life insurance payout and leave the country. Jesus Christ. I could hear him moving, probably getting dressed. Don't eat anything she makes. Don't drink anything she gives you. I'll be there tomorrow at noon. She'll still be at work, right? Yeah. She doesn't get home until 5. Good. Don't let her know you suspect anything. Act normal. Act sick. Can you do that? Yeah, I said. His voice was rough. We're going to fix this. I promise. I hung up and stared at the ceiling, listening to Chloe humming in the bathroom, the sound of water running, the clink of her wine glass on the marble counter. This woman I'd loved for 6 years, the woman I'd married, the woman I'd trusted with everything. She was slowly killing me for money. Mike showed up the next day at 11:58 a.m., exactly 2 minutes early. He was wearing jeans and a Portland Trail Blazers hoodie. Nothing that would scream cop to any neighbors who might see him. Where is it? He asked the second I opened the door. I handed him the Ziploc bag with last night's chicken parmesan. I also have the lasagna from Monday in the freezer. Good. We'll test both. He pulled out an evidence bag from his pocket, official police department, with a chain of custody label already filled out. I'm doing this off the books for now. Calling a favor from a guy I know at the state crime lab. Dr. Kevin Bell, toxicologist. He owes me from a case I helped him with 3 years ago. How fast can he test it if he prioritizes it? 2 days, maybe 3. Mike bagged the evidence carefully, sealed it, signed the label. Then he looked at me. Really looked at me. You look like hell, he said. 4 months of being poisoned will do that. What's she using? Any idea? No, but she works for a pharmaceutical company. She has access to all kinds of stuff. Mike nodded slowly. The symptoms you described, dizziness, blurred vision, weakness, that could be a lot of things. Heavy metals, antifreeze, certain medications in high doses. He paused. The scary thing is she's been doing it slow, building it up, so when you finally die, it looks natural like organ failure or a heart attack. She said the life insurance pays double for accidental death, right? So, she's probably planning to stage something. A fall down the stairs, a car accident. Something that looks like your health issues caused it. He pulled out his phone. I'm going to need you to record everything. Every meal she makes, every conversation, especially if she mentions the guy she's working with. I don't even know who he is. She just called him Max. We'll figure it out. Does she keep her phone locked? Yeah, but I know the password. It's our anniversary. Mike almost smiled at that. Of course it is. Tonight, when she's asleep, I need you to go through her phone, text messages, call logs, everything. Screenshot anything suspicious and send it to me. Don't delete anything. We need the originals for evidence. Okay. And Leo, he gripped my shoulder. You need to keep eating her food. What? Or at least pretend to. If she thinks it's not working, she might try something more drastic. A bigger dose, a different method. We need time to build a case. I stared at him. You want me to let my wife keep poisoning me? No. I want you to pretend she's poisoning you while actually disposing of the food. Can you do that? How? She watches me eat. Not the whole time. She goes to the bathroom. She makes phone calls. She does dishes. You find moments. You scrape food into napkins, into your pockets, into the garbage disposal. You make it look eaten, and you act sicker every day. This is insane. Your wife is murdering you for insurance money, Mike said flatly. We're way past insane. That night, Chloe made pot roast. She'd been cooking it all day in the slow cooker. The smell filled the house. She served it with mashed potatoes and green beans, all arranged perfectly. You need to eat, she said gently. You're wasting away. I'd lost 12 pounds in 4 months. My clothes hung loose. My face looked gaunt. I know, I said. It smells amazing. I ate slowly, methodically. When Chloe got up to get more water, I scraped half the pot roast into the napkin on my lap. When she went to change the TV channel, I dumped the mashed potatoes back into the serving bowl when she wasn't looking. By the time I was done, my plate looked clean, and Chloe was smiling. Good, she said. You need your strength. 20 minutes later, I stumbled to the couch and collapsed dramatically. Chloe watched me with those wide eyes. Not worried, not scared, calculating. Maybe we should update our insurance, she said suddenly. You know, just in case. What do you mean? Well, with you being so sick, it's smart to make sure I'm taken care of if something happens. I looked at her, really looked at her. I wondered how I'd never seen it before. The coldness behind those eyes, the way she tilted her head like a predator sizing up prey. Good idea, I said. Let's do that. She smiled, kissed my forehead. I'll call the agent tomorrow. That night, while Chloe slept, I went through her phone. It was a gold mine. Text messages with someone named Max Harding. Hundreds of them, going back 7 months, right before my symptoms started. We need to be patient. This can't look suspicious. Max, I'm trying. It's hard to watch him every day knowing what I'm doing. Chloe, you said you could handle it. If you can't, we need to stop now before this goes too far. Max, no, I can do it. It's just harder than I thought. Chloe, remember why we're doing this. $800,000. That's the payout. Split down the middle. We can start over together. Max, I know you're right. I love you. Chloe, I love you too. Just keep the doses steady. Not too much. We don't want him dying before the updated policy kicks in. I screenshot every single message, sent them all to Mike. Then I put the phone back exactly where I'd found it and went to the bathroom to throw up. $800,000. That was what I was worth. Dead. Mike called the next morning while I was sleeping on the couch and Chloe was at work. Got the messages, he said. This is good. This is really good. But we need more. More. We need the lab results confirming poison. We need to identify Max Harding, and we need a plan for how to catch them both. When will the lab results come back? Bell said probably Friday. He's rushing it. That's 3 days. I know. Can you hold on 3 more days? I thought about Chloe's smile, about the way she watched me eat, about the messages talking about doses and timing, and $800,000. Yeah, I said, I can hold on. Friday afternoon at 3:47 p.m., Mike called. We got the results. I was alone in the house. Chloe was at a work conference in Seattle, probably meeting Max Harding to plan their next move. It's ethylene glycol, antifreeze, small doses mixed into your food over an extended period. Not enough to kill you quickly, but enough to cause cumulative organ damage. Eventually, your kidneys would have failed. The doctors would have thought it was some rare disease. My hands were shaking. That's attempted murder. That's premeditated attempted murder. And with the text messages showing planning and motive, we have a solid case. He paused. I also found Max Harding. He's a pharmaceutical sales rep. Works for the same company as Chloe. They've been having an affair for 9 months. 9 months. That started about 2 months before my symptoms began. My guess is they were planning this the whole time. I sat down on the couch where I'd collapsed so many times, where Chloe had watched me suffer and pretended to care. What now? I asked. Now we finish this. Does Chloe have any family event coming up? Her parents are flying in next weekend for her dad's birthday. She wants to have a family dinner here. My parents, her parents, maybe her sister. Mike was quiet. Then, perfect. What are you thinking? You're going to expose her in front of everyone, with evidence. I'll be there with backup. We arrest her at the dinner table. That's dramatic. Your wife has been slowly poisoning you for 4 months while planning to stage her accidental death and run away with her boyfriend to Costa Rica, Mike said. Dramatic is appropriate. The next week was the longest of my life. I kept up the act. Ate Chloe's meals, or pretended to. Got weaker, more confused. She loved it. Started talking about when we'd update the insurance and the trip we'd take after you're feeling better. The trip we'd never take because I'd be dead. She invited everyone to dinner Friday night. Just family, she said. A nice dinner. You've been so sick. It'll be good to have everyone together. She wanted witnesses to see how devoted she was, how caring. Perfect. Friday came. My parents arrived at 5:30 p.m. Mom immediately started fussing over how thin I'd gotten. Leo, you look terrible. Are you sure the doctors don't know what's wrong? They're stumped, I said, leaning heavily on the couch. But Chloe's been taking great care of me. Chloe beamed, hugged my mother. I just want him to feel better. Her parents, Paul and Susan Miller, arrived at 5:45 p.m., both retired, both completely oblivious to their daughter's plan to commit murder. They brought wine and dessert and compliments about how lovely our home looked. Chloe's always been so good at taking care of people, Susan said, squeezing her daughter's shoulder. Chloe smiled. I learned from the best, Mom. Mike showed up at 6 p.m. sharp, in his civilian clothes, carrying a bottle of wine like a normal dinner guest. Only I could see the bulge under his jacket where his service weapon was holstered. "Detective Sampson," Chloe said warmly, hugging him. "So glad you could make it." "Wouldn't miss it," Mike said, his smile not reaching his eyes. We all sat down to dinner at 6:30 p.m. Chloe had made pot roast again, her specialty. She'd spent hours on it. The table was set beautifully. Candles, cloth napkins, the good china. She wanted this to be memorable. It would be, just not the way she planned. "Before we eat," I said, standing up slowly, gripping the edge of the table for support, "I want to say something." Chloe looked up at me, surprised, then pleased. She probably thought I was going to thank her in front of everyone. "Chloe has been taking such incredible care of me during this illness." I continued, my voice weak but steady, cooking every meal, making sure I eat, watching over me constantly. Her smile grew wider. My mother was tearing up. "In fact," I said, pulling out my phone, "I wanted everyone to hear just how dedicated she's been, how much effort she's put into my care." I pressed play on the recording I'd made that first night, the night I'd collapsed and overheard everything. Chloe's voice filled the room, clear and undeniable. "He's down. Was the dose enough? I gave him the full amount tonight. What do I get paid?" The color drained from Chloe's face so fast I thought she might faint. Then Max Harding's voice. "Give another week. His life insurance pays out double for accidental death. We split 50-50, just like we agreed." My mother gasped. Susan Miller stood up so fast her chair fell over backward. Chloe lunged for my phone, but Mike was faster. He grabbed her wrist and pulled her back in her seat. "Chloe Miller," he said, his voice cold and professional, showing his badge. "You're under arrest for attempted murder." "No!" Chloe's voice was shrill, panicked. "Leo, please, I can explain. This isn't what it sounds like." "Explain what?" I said, my voice steady now, all weakness gone. "Explain that you've been poisoning me with antifreeze for 4 months?" I pulled out the lab report that Mike had brought, official state crime lab letterhead, Dr. Kevin Bell's signature at the bottom, and threw it onto the table. "Ethylene glycol," I continued. "Small doses mixed into every meal you made, designed to cause cumulative organ damage so that when I finally died, it would look natural." Susan was crying. My father looked ready to murder someone. Chloe's father just stared at his daughter in horror. "The lab tested multiple food samples," Mike said, pulling out his handcuffs. "Every single one contained antifreeze. We have text messages between you and Max Harding detailing the plan. We have voice recordings of your conversations about splitting the insurance money. We have documentation of your affair. This is over, Chloe." "You don't understand," Chloe said, tears streaming down her face now. "We needed the money. Max and I, we love each other. We wanted to start a life together, but we couldn't afford—" "We had money," I said quietly. "I make 6 figures. You make good money. We own a house. We have savings. You didn't need anything. You just wanted more." Mike pulled Chloe to her feet and cuffed her hands behind her back. "You have the right to remain silent." As he read her Miranda rights, 2 uniformed officers came through the front door, Mike's backup, who'd been waiting outside. Chloe looked at me one last time. Her makeup was running. Her hair was disheveled. We took things slow, very slow. I told her about Chloe on our 5th date, sitting in a quiet restaurant, watching for her reaction. "That's terrifying," she said finally. "Yeah. How do you trust anyone after that?" "Carefully," I said. "Very, very carefully." She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. "I can work with careful." Mike liked her. "She's normal," he said after meeting her. "Boring, even. I'll tell her you called her boring." "Please don't." But he was right. Maya was wonderfully, beautifully normal. She didn't watch me eat. She didn't ask about my life insurance. She just liked spending time with me, talking about her patients, making terrible puns about dogs and cats. It was the most refreshing thing I'd ever experienced. For years after Chloe's arrest, I stopped having nightmares about pot roast. 5 years after, Maya moved into my condo. 6 years after, I proposed. She said yes immediately. "Then you're sure? After everything?" she asked. "I'm sure," I said. "Because you're nothing like her. Because I trust you." Because I've learned the difference between someone who loves me and someone who wants me dead. She laughed, cried, kissed me. That's a pretty low bar, she said. It's a starting point. We got married on a beach in Oregon. Small ceremony, just family and close friends. Mike was my best man. Maya's sister was her maid of honor. It was simple and perfect, and everything Chloe's betrayal had taught me to value. No secrets, no lies, no poison. Just two people who chose each other, honestly. 7 years after Chloe's arrest, I went to visit her in prison. I don't know why. Closure, maybe. Curiosity. Some perverse need to see what she'd become. She looked older. Prison had been hard on her. Her red hair had faded. Her face was lined. She lost weight. "Leo," she said when she sat down across from me, separated by glass. "I can't believe you came. Neither can I. I've written you so many letters. I know you never responded." "No." She looked at me for a long time. "I'm sorry for what I did. I was sick. I wasn't thinking clearly. Max manipulated me. I never would have." "Stop," I said quietly. She stopped. "I didn't come here for apologies," I continued. "I came here because I needed to see you one more time, to remind myself that you're real, that this actually happened, because sometimes it still feels like a nightmare. It was a nightmare for both of us." "No, Chloe. It was a choice. You chose to poison me. You chose to plan my murder. You chose money over my life. Those were all choices." She was crying now. "I loved you." "No," I said, standing up. "You loved yourself, and that's why you're in here, and I'm out there living my life." I walked away without looking back. That night, I went home to Maya. We made dinner together. Nothing fancy, just pasta and salad. We ate at our small kitchen table, talking about our days, laughing about something stupid one of her patients had done. And I realized that this simple, honest, boring life was everything Chloe had tried to take from me. But she'd failed. I was alive. I was happy. I was loved by someone who actually meant it. She was in prison for 17 more years. And I stopped trusting my wife the moment she started caring if I lived or died. That decision saved my life.